Okay, so today we're going to talk about ethos, pathos, and logos. To begin, does anyone know what those mean or why we use it? Shelby?
To make a good argument.
Perfect. So together we use ethos, pathos, and logos to make a good argument. Good job. Thank you. And I'm actually really excited for this lesson because once you know about it, you recognize it in your daily life all the time, and you don't realize maybe right away, but after knowing what each one means, you see it all the time. Different places I've noticed it is in essays and papers and TV shows and commercials and public speaking. And public speaking is one of the biggest ones. In fact, we're actually going to look at a lot of our examples today are coming straight from one of Obama's speeches in 2008 called Yes, We Can, and how he uses each of these. So first, let's talk about ethos. Does anyone know what ethos means? Ty?
Is that the credibility?
Perfect. That's exactly. Thank you so much. Okay, so Ty had it right on. It's the credibility. Why do we incorporate ethos into our papers? So lots of times when you're writing a paper or making an argument, you are going to include ethos, and when you do that, you want to ask yourself, why do people want to listen to me? What gives you the authority to talk about that subject? And so lots of times we'll incorporate quotes, and when we incorporate quotes into our essays and papers, we want to give the credentials of who we're quoting because it gives it a much stronger and believable aspect. For example, if you're maybe writing a paper on diabetes, you can, when you're quoting someone, you'll say Dr. So-and-so and put their quote, and you give their credentials of they went to this school and they've been studying diabetes for the past 10 years. And now the audience is like, oh, okay, I understand why they're quoting that person. They have the authority, and it makes it much more of a stronger argument. Okay, so let's look at the example on the handout that you guys received. We're going to go down to when, I think it's about 3/4 along on the page, and it's in bold letters. Will someone read that first quote for me? Marion, go for it.
All of the candidates in this race share these goals. All have good ideas, and all are patriots who serve this country honorably.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, and so right there, Obama is giving credentials. He's saying everyone, all of these candidates, and he's referring to himself because he himself is a candidate. He has the authority to run for office because, and he says right there, because he has spent time honorably serving the country. So right there is why he is credible and has the authority to speak on what he's about to say. So perfect. So next is pathos. Does anyone know what pathos means? Yes.
That's when you use emotions.
Perfect. Thanks, Becca. That's awesome. That's exactly what it is. When pathos is when you appeal to the audience's emotions. And so when you want to use pathos, you need to ask yourself questions like, what do I want the audience to feel, and how can I do that? So let's go to Obama's speech again, and we're going to look on the second page of his speech is a quote that starts with Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, we can to opportunity and prosperity. Yes, we can heal this nation. Yes, we can repair the world.
Thank you so much, Ben. So, right there, yes, we can do this. Yes, we can do this. And yes, we can become prosperous. Who doesn't want to be prosperous? Right there, he has the audience's attention, and he's pulling at the want. What does the audience want? We want to be prosperous, and we want to live in a better place. And when he's pulling at those emotions, it makes us want to vote for him. So pathos is very important in all sorts of speeches because it pulls at the audience's emotions. One of the examples that I personally love that I notice all the time are on commercials, and I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. The commercials with the like animal shelters, and they play the sad music, and they show the pictures of the animals, and automatically that pulls what I like to say at your heartstrings. and it makes you sad, and it makes you sympathize, and it makes you want to donate money. So in these commercials, they use pathos so that you'll donate and that you'll have those feelings and that you'll feel sad. Does anyone else have any examples of pathos? Okay, we'll move on. What about logos? Does anyone know what logos means? Go ahead, Shelby.
It's the logic.
Perfect. It's the logic. So logos is what's the plan? What's the so what? How are we going to get there? So let's go to Obama's speech, and it is the bolded lines that start with, it's like 3 different phrases, and they start with the word end. Does anyone? Go ahead, Ty.
End the outrage of an unaffordable, unavailable health care. End the tax breaks for corporations. And we will end this war in Iraq and bring our troops home.
Perfect. Thank you. So he had the pathos of our wants and our desires. We want to be prosperous. And now he's saying we're going to do that by ending tax breaks for corporations, and we're going to do that by ending war. The only thing that I think it could have done is I think logos could have been stronger. And to make the logo stronger, he could have said, you know, we're going to end war by doing this. So the logos is the plan. What is our plan here? So he doesn't go very in depth of how he's going to do that. So when you're writing your own papers or things like that, focus on, okay, how are we going to solve this problem? How are we going to get to these steps? Okay, and the best way to make an argument is when you have all 3 of these together. When you have the ethos, pathos, and logos all blended together, that is the strongest argument you can make. Does anyone have any ideas of how we can apply this in our everyday life? I gave you a couple examples, but how can we use this in our life every day?
Could we possibly use it to like convince our parents? Like maybe
Perfect.
we wanted to buy a car or something.
Okay, perfect. So let's do a little exercise. I love that example. That was right on. So we're going to do an exercise, and we'll use Ben's example of persuading our parents. That's an everyday thing. We all want something, and we have to get permission from our parents. So how are we going to go about doing that? And so just take a couple minutes and figure out what argument you're going to make to your parents. What do you want right now from them? And you need to appeal to the ethos, pathos, and logos. Okay, Ben, how would you appeal to all 3 of those to persuade your parents to get you a car?
To get them a car, well, I think for the ethos thing, like I could show them that I looked at the different cars, I found out the prices and the different models, which one's more reliable.
Perfect, that's great for ethos.
And then for the pathos, I could remind them that I've been responsible and that I've been a good son and that I'm going to take care of this car.
Perfect. So then it's getting their emotions. You are a good son. Okay, and last but not least, logos. What's your plan?
I think the biggest concern for them is probably money. And so maybe if I like showed them a plan how I could like save half the money, and with the job I have that I can save it in like 6 months.
Excellent. There you go. Okay, that was great. Thank you so much. That's exactly. It's in our everyday lives just like that, and it's going to build us those stronger arguments. And we can do the same thing in the English class, and we can apply it to the papers that you have to write and the public speaking that you have to do. And just go through step by step. Ethos and the pathos and the logos. How are you going to draw in your audience using all 3 of those? And when you use all 3 of them, you'll make a much stronger argument.